We're back to the Totaljucation Celebrity Show on the Totaljucation Network. TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook. And I always get excited to have celebrities on the program. But when we're talking about matchmakers and all these different things, being a happily married man for so many years, I'm not going to have to hopefully ever utilize her services, but I know that maybe down the line I'll learn a lot, and my listeners, especially all over the world, will get interested in this guest. So I want to welcome to the program Siggy Flicker. You were on Love Picker VH1 and now an author. Siggy, thanks for calling.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so specifically tell us how you got involved, I guess, in this game. Because basically the situation is that we all, especially if we get on reality shows and we get host different things and things happen to us, it's circumstance. It really, a lot of times what we go out and try to do ends up not what we end up doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it was a little bit different. Ever since I was 14 years old, everyone has always been coming to me for advice. Always. And I guess it's the way my parents raised me. I have certain rules that I stick to, and I truly believe that there is a lid to every pot. Everybody deserves to be happy, and everybody deserves to be in love. But the problem today is that most people, over half of our population is single, and no one has anybody to turn to. I believe that everybody needs a Siggy. Everybody needs somebody who's been there, done it, and gives great advice. So for me personally, everybody was always coming to me, well, why does he like me? And I'm like, well, he's just not into you. Because when a man loves a woman, he will chase after that woman. He will go up against everybody in his family to be with that woman. So stop chasing something that doesn't even belong to you. Or I always say there's a lit spot, or a man's rejection is God's protection. If somebody's rejecting you, that doesn't mean you go back into your corner and you play dead. It means that you have to push, 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 push. So I ended up getting a job as a life coach, a relationship expert, and a matchmaker in Manhattan. And after people saw the way, my theory and my method of all these men and women joining the service, and I would really, really try to figure out why they were single, because anybody could really match anybody. I could always say, Bob, go out on a date with Harriet. Okay. But for me, it was imperative to find out why you're still single. So what I used to do at the matchmaking service is their first date was always with a fake date, a recruiter, somebody who would give me really honest feedback on what Bob was doing on his date. Because to me, he comes into my office, I went to Harvard, I'm in a suit, I'm well-mannered, I have a lot of money. I'm like, okay, so why are you single? Well, I don't know. I don't know why I'm single. So when I sent him out on his first date with the recruiter and I found out that he spit curry chicken in the recruiter's hair all night long, and all he did was talk about his cats all night long, I was able to say, this is why you're single. This is why you're single. All night long, you're talking about Kiki and Winky and Binky and Finky, and meanwhile, the girl thinks that you're going home to make love to your cat. That's not the way you approach being single. So with VH1, they approached me because all the clients were like freaking out. Word got around town. It set like fire. I was approached by several networks, and VH1 wanted to do the show, Why Am I Still Single? So basically, during the show, I would watch two people on a date behind hidden cameras, and then stop the date and say, oh, okay, now I know why you're still single. You're talking about sex or so on and so on, and then I would put them back on the right road after I would give them my lessons.
Interesting. And Siggy, what I notice from what you talk about a lot of times, relationships, so many marriages fail, so many relationships fail in so many ways that you need someone like, it's true. It's because basically a lot of them can't take the hard times. They run out after you find out there's certain defects of your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're like, I can't live with them, and not knowing that there's not a perfect person out there. So in a lot of ways, you look at specifically, do you believe in opposites attract, or you the belief system that they have to be the same in so many ways?
Well, okay, so that's a great question. First of all, I was married for 10 years. Now, I'm the girl that everybody went to. I was married to Mark Ira Flicker. What a man. Every mother would want a husband like this for their daughter. We were married for 10 years. We had two beautiful kids. Somewhere down the marriage, we started to disconnect. Mark was no longer, we were doing things separately. Anyway, you'll never hear a story like this, but we got divorced without an attorney. We stayed close friends. I matched my ex-husband with a beautiful woman. He's in a relationship with her. And when I got married to my current husband, Michael, the ex-husband, Mark, was the best man at the wedding. Can you follow all that?
Yes, I follow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what the point is there is no guarantee the relationship is going to work. There's never a guarantee that a relationship is going to work. All we have is to just put it out there every time and hope for the best, not to stay in the corner. But when it doesn't work out, and when you've done everything and you've tried to relationship, because it takes two to tango. When two people are in a relationship, both people have to step up to the plate. If one starts to say, you know what, I'm really not into the relationship, and the other person's doing all the work, that's where all the problems come through. There is no reason to be in a miserable relationship, but what you owe yourself is, if that relationship ends, you got to continue, not fall down flat on your face. You've got to pick yourself up and go for it once again. I believe that experience and rejection is a key part in creating character in life lessons. Oprah didn't make it to where she was today without being rejected. Yes. Neither did Michael Jordan. So every person that you admire or somebody who's listening admires has been rejected plenty of times.
Absolutely.
Especially in relationships. But I do agree with you that most people enter relationships and they don't know what they're doing in the relationship. And they don't know how to work on it. And they give up too quickly. So it depends. You have to go in there knowing, hey, it's just like a car. You don't put gas in the car's not going to move from point A to point B. Same thing with a relationship. You got to water it. You got to really, really put gas in there, and both of you have to work at it together.
Well, absolutely, Siggy, and I think that when I hear you talk about this, I want to go into the VH1 experience of being on television and understanding that fact before we go into the book, and then I'm sure the book's going to give us the great tips, but I think that the why VH1 wanted this is because so many people are just so lost, as you just talked about.
Exactly.
They're so
100%.
lost that they either they're looking for sex or they're looking for no strings attached, as men do a lot of times, and now women are doing the same thing. I don't have time for you. But yet, I want you to be there for me every second, every single moment, second thing. And a lot of times we grow differently. And this is where, I mean, a lot of times I think that when we talk about the marriage, and I guess we'll get into this in the book, I could speak to you in so many ways. And so it's such a sacrifice for each person that's in the relationship. You have to sacrifice a ton. If you're not willing to sacrifice all that, the relationship will never work out, because
Correct.
Ultimately it's you are giving not just yourself in matrimony, you're not just giving yourself in the bedroom, you're giving yourself all your wants, your needs, your desires, and everything, because a lot of times kids are in the mix as well. So when you were on this TV show, because you seem like such a great relationship advice person, was it weird getting involved with the production company, and you know how they were just wanting things to be a train wreck in so many ways?
Correct, because when you get onto a reality show, I knew it going in, and this is why, like, if you ever watched the show, this was probably the only show on VH1 that had heart and soul. And when I was asked to come back, luckily I met Harvey Weinstein, and right now we're working on a new show. It's going to be announced in the next couple of weeks, and the show is going to be called Marry My Ex. And basically, what I want to do is I want to be the super nanny for people who need relationship help. So doing the show for VH1, of course, when thousands and thousands of people audition for the show, they're only going to take the real crazies, because that's what sells.
Yes.
That's the truth. No sugarcoating it. Drama and craziness sells. To me, it didn't matter, because I was still able to say, hey, this is what's wrong with you. And you talk about sex. You just told this guy that the doctor just upped your Prozac on the first date. That is not necessary for him to know. The crazier it is, the more that I can be Siggy and be, I'm crazy in my own right. But for me, it wasn't about the drama or the pulling hair. I'm not into that. I'm a mother of 4 children. I've got a great husband, a great life. I really wanted to create something really, really special. And that's where the Weinstein Group came in, and now we have a couple of projects in the work and the book in the work. But I'm grateful to VH1. They gave me a platform, and I will probably work with them in the future. But yes, you are absolutely correct. What reality shows want is a lot of kooks. Drama, and drama.
Absolutely. I mean, I interviewed two of the Real Housewives from New York. I've had Miami's on, and also D.C., a good friend of mine, Mary Amons. And what I've learned in specific ways is that they just set this up to be a train wreck. And I think that you, especially now, I'm glad that I was thinking, what kind of relationship person is going to think I'm crazy when I talk about sacrifice? Can you hear some of these relationship experts? Oh, no, it has to be perfect. And they're like, really, are you really married? No, you're not married.
Exactly.
You're with your 5 cats, and your nails are.
Neil, I'm in love with you already. Half of the people who consider themselves relationship experts are single. How can you preach about love if you can't even seal the deal for yourself? And then people will say, well, Siggy, you got divorced. Damn straight, and I would do it all over again to have my Sophie and my Joshua. And I'm still best friends with my ex-husband, but guess what? There are no guarantees. But when I give advice, I'm living it. I am living it. I finally found my soulmate, the lid to my pot. I followed my own advice. I totally agree with you that some people out there are giving advice when they have no right to be standing in that platform. Absolutely not.
They don't have any. They have no right to do it at all. You're so right about that, and I think that's the thing. And from VH1, the producers set up to get the craziest people for you to kind of try to help. And you're like, these people can't, and they can't listen at all. They probably would never walk into your practice because you're like, I can't help you.
Exactly. But I had to understand that that's what reality TV is, and that's really like the sad thing about reality TV, because who's watching reality TV? People are watching reality TV want to feel good about their lives.
Because they can't. They hate their lives. They hate their lives, Siggy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? But after they watch the train wrecks on TV, they probably say, you know what? My life isn't that bad. I mean, seriously, my life isn't that bad. I don't talk about 9 cats, and I don't go and tell everybody about my. I mean, they probably walk away and say, you know what, I don't have the greatest life, but it's not that life. So I think that there's something to be said for that. And you go along. But look, yesterday I was on the Today Show, and the first thing I told Hoda and Cassie Lee is, being single is not going to kill you, and being in a relationship is not going to heal you. It starts with you. You have to accept the fact that you're single and have a right attitude about being single and push forward, because everybody's worthy of love. It's not you have to lose weight, you have to have straight hair, you can't have a big tushy. No. When you love yourself, then you're opening up yourself to letting the world love you back.
Absolutely. If you have too much of baggage, you're not the right person to be in a relationship. And Siggy, I guess we're going back and forth. I want to go into the book, absolutely, but I'm so interested in the VH1 experience, and we'll definitely have to have you back. I always say this to all my guests because I just love the celebrity show, and that fact that I connect with you guys because I really just down to earth, like having a cup of coffee or a beer with you. So we get back more with Siggy Flicker, and we're going to learn really specifically about the book now. VH1, I don't want to talk about that as much, and I hope on Twitter we keep connected on Twitter. Again, I'm Total Tutor on Twitter, and we could find out once your new show airs. It was very interesting. I've had a lot of people that have gone from horrible reality experiences to finally getting the project they want, and I hope it works out. You're listening to Toldjucation Celebrity Show on the Toldjucation Network, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're back to Toldjucation Celebrity Show on the Toldjucation Network, TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, and I'm with Siggy Flicker, and I'm so excited to have her on the show, especially when I don't want to tell her what I was doing when she called me because she was late on the call, but it was worth the wait. It's worth the wait because you're an easy interview, simple, and let's go into specifically the book and what components of the book. I know why you write a book because everyone knows why. We have to brand ourselves more. And after the experience where you have your fans because of the show and because of your practice, the book's the next thing, right?
Well, the book's the next thing, absolutely. But there's a reason why I wrote the book, because I want to break the persona of somebody having a perfect life. So the reason I wrote the book is because, guess what? I happen to be an extremely interesting person. interesting person. I believe in love. I grew up, when people see you on a reality TV, they see you with the hair and the makeup and the eyelashes and the Birkin bags and the beautiful clothes, and you know what? You go into a category. I wrote the book letting everybody know, listen, ever since I was young, and when I waited tables at TGI Fridays, and when I sold the most chicken mushroom, and I met the president of TGI Fridays, I've always lived with passion and belief and with certain rules. For example, a man has to love a woman a little bit more. That's the way a relationship works. When a woman tries to change her appearance or to make a man notice her or love her so much when she's trying too hard, that relationship usually doesn't work. And we get into celebrities like Kim and Kanye. And when I was on Wendy Williams, I said that relationship is absolutely going to work. Why? Because Kanye's been obsessed with Kim for years, and he loves her just a little bit more than she loves him. 2 years later, they're still going strong. With Chloe and Lamar. Bless her heart, I love that woman. I love Chloe. I feel so bad for her. But the problem with that relationship is she's always loved him just a little bit more. When he wanted to go to Dallas, she followed him. When he wanted to spice up their sex life, it was Chloe that was buying the swing and installing the swing in the bedroom. She doesn't need somebody like that. No. She's chasing him around. So for me, there are certain rules, like when you're single, why do you go out with other single girls? Because if you're looking for a job, would you take everybody else who's also jobless, all your friends, and go on an interview with them? When you are single, you have got to engage in things that you are passionate about and do it at least once a week. Join a class. Take a dance class. Go volunteer at the local animal shelter. Take a cooking class. And even if you're not a lesbian or you are a lesbian, God bless you, but you'll meet other women. And those other women, once a week when you go to class, guess what they have? They might have a single brother, a single boss, a single best friend. The point being is you've got to network outside of your work and social circle.
True.
And you know what? As a society today, we're lazy. I hope all the listeners are hearing me. I hope they start attacking me. We're lazy. We're behind our iPhones and our BlackBerries, and we're looking down, and nobody wants to go out anymore. And we rely on online dating, which is a wonderful tool, but it can't be the only tool. You can't just work out if you have to lose weight and come home to a Whopper French fries and a Diet Coke and say, but I don't understand. I just worked out for 45 minutes, and I still haven't taken off the weight, the pounds. You got to work out, and you got to eat right. You could try online dating, but you've got to get away from your computer and get out there and live life. Interaction, because you will never know who you connect with. My husband today has no hair on top of his head, and when I first got divorced, there was no way that was on my dream list. I didn't say I want to meet a man who has no hair on top of his head. The first time I saw Michael Campanella, my heart went into my stomach. I knew that I was going to be crazy about this man. And the more I got to know him, the more I was passionately, madly in love with him. I did not have his physical traits on a piece of paper. So my advice is get away from your lists and get away from the computer and go out there and actually be grateful that you're healthy, you're alive, you live in the United States of America. Go do something about your life.
So a lot of times it's about getting yourself better, to get yourself that you're a package in certain ways, that you're not just this boring, cute girl, yet I have nothing going on except go out drinking with my friends. Or I'm busy just work, this, that, and the other, but I really don't have any interests. Because a lot of guys are going to choose a girl that's interesting. There's a lot of pretty girls, but which ones are going to be ones that I want to be talking to in the middle of the night to? Not just, okay, this is such a problem. And I think that one thing I think that in your book you also touch upon is specifically it's work. It's not an easy thing, a relationship, and it's tough, and it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, and there's a give and take. But I like the fact that you said that the man has to be doing a little bit more for the wife, because
no, a man has to love. I'm talking about in the first 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6, okay.
Once you seal the deal and you and that person are in a committed relationship, honey, you better not be expecting that he's just going to bring home the bacon and fry it up and do everything and make the reservations. A woman has got to step up to the plate and treat her man like a man. If he's out there all day working or vice versa, two people have to step up. It's a 50-50 relationship. Sometimes at the end of the day, I will house, and I've got my daughter just came home from dance and basketball practice, and my son's there, and all of a sudden Michael turns around, and I'm caught up in everything, and I've got to turn around and say, oh, this is my husband. Hi, sweetheart, how are you? How is your day today? I got to take a step back, and I've got to take care of my man, because if I don't, somebody else will, and vice versa. It's a 50-50 partnership. And for those prima donnas who think that they're just going to enter a relationship and sit there because they're pretty, honey, you will be on the divorce line, or you will be back on the single line faster than I can spell out backwards. I guarantee it.
Because at one point it will just become flat. And I think that, like you said, it's a give and take, 50%. You have to be there for your person. A lot of times, as we're one once we're married in so many ways, and if we're not willing to become one, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be an issue, because ultimately it's a partnership. And if you're not willing, and if you're not good at having partnerships, relationships are not the thing for you. If you're not willing to share, if you're not willing to give and have a give and take, it's never going to work. So what is another component in the book? I love the so far ones about getting out there, bettering yourself, feeling good about yourself before going and jumping into the dating pool, because you don't want to have so much baggage that literally once that person finds out about the baggage, they're gone.
You're absolutely right. But another very important component about the book is learning how to be true to who you are. If you are not true to who you are, eventually that person's going to discover who you really are, and it's going to end up going the wrong way. You've got to be true to who you are. You've got to stick with the things that you're passionate about. You can't be phony your whole life. You can't be in a phony relationship and play as if you're playing the part, because sooner or later, karma will get the best of you. So in this book, it has tools on how to be true to who you are, how to deal with rejection, and when you are rejected, how to get back right up and get right back out there. It also teaches you really, really important lessons and tools on how to not only be in a relationship, but how to keep that relationship going. Because I feel like a lot of people don't have this information. You don't have a Siggy in your life. Maybe your mother didn't tell you. Maybe your next door neighbor, your best friends are not that knowledgeable in this relationship. So imagine walking around and you want some guidance, and there's really no guidance out there. This is a book coming from a person who has sealed the deal over and over again. I'm sharing my secrets with everybody else, because why should I be the only one living a fabulous life?
And what do you think is the worst thing that a relationship can have that's not going to work? What do you think that when you have a couple together, what do you think is the worst thing that will end the relationship most of the time? What do you think that is?
Cheating to me. I don't agree with it.
Cheating. Okay.
If a woman is spreading her legs, and a woman is allowing another man to be intimate with her, and a man is, and vice versa, there is a disconnect in that relationship. If you are dating somebody and you're with somebody, that you should be the first word and the last word in the dictionary for either or. There is nothing half-assed about anything that I've ever done in my life, and when you are in love, that is the most important job that you're ever going to have. There's nothing more important than to love and to be loved. And if you are cheating, then that trust is broken, that foundation is cracked, and I'm sorry, that is not considered love. That is not the definition of love for me.
What about, let's talk about other areas to think about in relationships that I'm sure you touch upon in your book. What about finances? How tough is it?
Listen. My ex-husband was a multimillionaire. I have Louboutins. It didn't make me happy. Okay? Money is all nice. Money is great. Everybody would like money. I know it helps out a lot in life. You can't base love on money. I know plenty of people who are married to multi-trillionaires who are suicidal. Okay? Some of them happen to be my closest friends. And I know plenty of people who don't have anything and are the happiest people in the world. You can't base love on money. And whoever tells you that you can or you should, this is why I tell it also in the book, stop listening to your mother and your best friend. No one knows who you're going to have chemistry with. When I first met my husband, he was just starting out. I stuck with him till the very end. He was going through a bitter divorce. We stuck it together, and 7 years later, we're on top of the world. When you are with somebody, you should be with somebody because you want to be with that person, not because that your mother or somebody else is trying to sell you the bill of rights on that person. Money cannot buy you health, and it cannot buy you happiness.
So true. And then the other parts is a lot of things. You're going to see a lot of defects with your significant other, and you're going to have to learn to love those and learn that specifically that we all need to make changes, but at times there's certain things that we just have to ignore or just live with, because there's no perfect person, and that's
absolutely.
Okay, Siggy, where can we purchase your book and learn more about you? What a great conversation. I'm looking forward to keeping up with you so that I hear when the new reality show comes out, because you'll have to come on the show to talk about it for sure.
I absolutely will. Well, you can follow me on Twitter. That's Siggy Flicker, and that is my real name. I would not make up a name like that.
I didn't think that was your real name. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my God. Everybody asks me, I'm like, do you think I was called Ziggy, Squiggy, Miss Piggy, Cigarette, Siggy the Sea Monster? I was picked on, I was bullied over that name, but it's Siggy with an S, Siggy Flicker, and you can follow me, and I have a website, SiggyFlicker.com, and the Weinstein Company will make the announcement as soon as everything is finalized, and after the show comes out, they'll release the book.
Well, fantastic. So all of it's coming at the same time, and you're shopping it around the networks, right? So you don't know what network it's going to be on.
No, it's going to be on the network. I just can't be the one to say it. And it's going to be very, very exciting.
And if you knew it, you couldn't tell me now, or you'd have to kill me. Okay, so it's good.
I just, you don't want to mess with Harvey Weinstein. Trust me. I'm not allowed to say which network, but it's a dream come true for me.
Well, fantastic, Siggy, and we'll stay in touch and have you on to talk about the production and all the different things. Thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
You got it. Thank you so much, Neil. Have a great day.
Take care, Siggy. See ya.
Okay, bye, honey.
All right, you're listening to Education Celebrity Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.